Okay, the iPhone 16 Pro. Oh, I forgot to do the intro. Hi, my name is Cabbage. Welcome to the channel. You gotta hit it every time. You gotta bang it out every single time. I'm re-recording this for the second time because I lost the audio for all of the footage that I got the first time. So if you see me like looking back and forth, it's because I'm just trying to make sure. Yeah, we're okay. The iPhone 16. I have some more thoughts about it now that I've had it for about a couple of months, but I'll get kind of into why I bought it in the first place. For a really long time, I was daily driving the iPhone 13 Pro Max, which should have been the end game for a lot of people, but as you know, there were a couple of duds in that release, particularly like cinematic mode and the ProRes recording. Like those are on paper really cool, but I don't think they really materialized in that generation. But the redeeming factor for me was like the 0.5 camera. And you may be questioning why I upgraded so soon into a product's lifespan. And it's because my 0.5 broke. And I was having so much fun with it too. Like I made so many amazingly composed 0.5 photos of all my friends. And it broke on me. So for like a year and a half, I was bugged out about trying to, like figure out if I want to buy the 15 or want to, because I mean, that's a short amount of upgrade time. But when the 16 was announced and pre-orders went live, I pounced on it right away. And since Apple has really stepped it up in terms of like using USB-C as the main data port and also having Apple Log as their new sort of color science, I was really excited to actually use the new iPhone. I just needed to know when. My thoughts on it have changed, but I'll tell you what I remember my first impressions were. And it's still the same feeling, which is it's so cool. I use the Blackmagic camera app, and the ability to like monitor your LUT on this and be able to lock down certain settings, and also being able to move to a hard drive. In the B-roll, you'll actually see that I set up this like Ulanzi Samsung T5 setup, but I've since switched to the Lexar Go SSD, which I will film more B-roll of. But this plus this, that's a crazy combo. Now I have a crazy vlogging setup that fits in the palm of my hand, fits in my pocket, and there's 2 terabytes of storage on the Lexar SSD. That's like bananas. It's crazy. Anyways, it's gonna be my daily driver for the foreseeable future. And I also remember thinking that as someone who loves technology and like new photo and video gear, I love this whole concept. Like as a creative, and as you all know from the channel intro that if you haven't seen yet, please go watch it, I'm trying to remove as many barriers as I can to like just put out stuff and share and be creative. So having something that literally weighs nothing, it slips in my pocket and is able to record 4K 30 stuff that is equal to sometimes with optimal lighting as my Sony camera. I wrote this whole section on perspective, comparing my old vlogging camera, a Sony a6600, which is still a great camera, to this new setup. And the point I wanted to make, but didn't say very clearly, was that I've always felt this glorification of these intense vlogging setups, like the old Casey Neistat and Peter McKinnon types. But as the tech world and I have grown, maybe it's time we leave that behind. I feel like gone are the days we need to bring a dedicated camera to everything. I'm comfortable leaving my camera bag at home, knowing that if I wanted to capture something, I'll have it right next to me, paired with some extra gizmos, of course. People are also more sensitive to cameras now. It's hard to be stealthy with a DSLR and a shotgun mic. There's a stereotype there that I feel like wasn't there 5 to 6 years ago. But an iPhone 16 Pro is just another phone. No one suspects the phone video to be comparable to camera footage. Until now. I'll show you a quick, like, fantastic little setup that I made. So I have the iPhone right here, and the Lexar SSD, okay? That's the memory and the camera all at once. So this will get me like perfect handheld shots using the same Ulanzi MagSafe, and with the quarter 20 on the bottom, if I just snap it on there, and then that's my tripod. Boom. I think this thing goes up to like 4 feet too in height, which is it's sick. So like whenever at any times, as long as I have these 2 things, I will be able to capture 4K 30 up to 2 terabytes. Huh? That's ridiculous. There are some caveats that I should mention. It sucks in low light. A lot of people online are saying that like 400 and 100 is kind of your best ISO range, and then anything past 800 is kind of unusable. I agree with that. I've been in some pretty bad low light situations, and you just kind of have to embrace the low exposure and not try and like pump your ISO. There's really no way around it otherwise, but I mean, that such is the case for a sensor that's on a phone. Another thing that is a little annoying is that whenever I unplug the SSD and plug it back in, the phone doesn't recognize it right away, and I have to tab through the menu in order to get to the files right away. That's annoying. I wish it would just automatically sense, but I feel like that's more of a software issue that Blackmagic could address. And I've heard also a lot online about incremental upgrades and not being able to trust a product that is released on promises, not actual hardware, because you know we're still on iOS 18.1. The whole Apple Intelligence thing hasn't even like come out yet as I'm recording this. Anyways, it'd be really sad if it got announced now and I just totally missed it. But there's a lot of things with the iPhone 16 that has caused a lot of commotion in terms of the tech world, but I think for me personally, I was really just looking for an upgraded camera and being able to shoot, log, record like more things more often. And this phone does exactly that for me, with the added benefit of also being my daily driver phone. So there's practical use to it too. Am I excited to have my 0.5 back? Yes, I've already taken a bunch of 0.5s with it, so you know I'm already getting my money's worth. I feel like it's a really good purchase for anyone who is coming from an older phone, like an iPhone 12 or 13, and then looking to make the next jump. And then you have like a plethora of benefits if you're a creative. Like I shot the entire intro on the iPhone because it's so small, and with this 0.5 you can get really cool perspective shots that you probably wouldn't be able to get with a DSLR, or it'd be a lot more cumbersome to do. With that setup that I'll show right now, it's like zero weight. Like there's really no restrictions when it comes to sort of like these really cool forced perspective or point of view shots that you can get. Do I think everybody all of a sudden is going to start vlogging because of the new iPhone? No, I'm sure people will probably still use DSLRs or the Osmo Pocket or any of these other sort of like vlogging cameras. But I think for me, it's about like removing barriers to creating stuff. And honestly, like having a dedicated vlogging camera and then an A cam and all these things is just, it's too much. Like I gotta start cutting down on the tech I buy anyways. So iPhone 16, really cool. There are also a bunch of modes that I didn't really get into, like the 4K 120, but in my personal experience, I haven't used any of those yet, so I can't really talk about them. But if that is something that I end up raving about or shoot a project that needed that and I'm like, oh my god, this saved me, I'll probably talk about it then. This is maybe like the first video and perhaps a series of updates that I will make further down the line about how cool mobile filmmaking has gotten. And it sounds a little cringe to say mobile filmmaking, but I'm kind of getting the hype. Like I was not sipping the Kool-Aid for years, but now I know that I can like just shoot almost every vlog I do on this with 2 terabytes of storage, and you have Apple Log, and you can monitor the LUT on the camera. That's crazy. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe and comment down below, because I read all the comments on the last video, and I all of them are my friends. But I really appreciate all the support that I've been getting from the people in my life. So if you are just a random and you just stopped by to say hello, and I hope to see you in the next video. Okay, bye. Bye-bye, see ya. Ah.